succession. That's the saint I'm speaking of. I feel very blessed because I began meditating at age 14. And I went to India at age 19, and I was baptized or initiated into the mysteries of Vijnana, the light and science meditation at 19 years old. So I feel really, really lucky and blessed to have had that happen. Sant Rajendra said something very interesting about the 12-step movement program. He said, and let me just back the reel up, if I may, and say to you that on another trip to Chicago to visit him, we had a gentleman that had been sober for 12 years from alcohol. And he took the big book, which is the 12-step Bible, basically, and he read something out of that book to Sant Rajendra Singh. He read that Dr. Bob and Bill Wilson actually received the 12-step essence from an illumination at the light. And when Rajendra heard that, he said, see, this program came from the light. And this program developed in the mid-1930s. At that time, you know, those of us on this spiritual path know that Baba Sawan was the actual teacher at that time. And then he said, there will be many people that will come to our institution as a result of this program. Now, why is that? The reason is that we have 12 steps, and I'm going to actually go through those with you. Somebody can help me pass these out. Everybody's welcome to have copies. These have been altered or changed just a little bit from some of the traditional work that you might read about. But the reason I want everybody to have a copy is because as I go through these, you can kind of follow along with me.
Knowledge.
I'd like to hear more about that if you have, if you know why. And then I'd like to ask you, who knows what brought you here tonight? I brought you. No, you drove me here. No, I was in your car. You were in the driver's seat. So who doesn't have a sheet yet? Everybody has one? Okay, people. Okay, I really want everybody to have it.
If anybody wants it, you can share.
Does
We're making more copies.
that's fine. Does everybody remember in the very beginning what I talked about tonight when I first got started? What was behind everything?
Love.
Okay, that is what brought you here tonight. That's exactly why the people are in this room are here. Now, out of love, eventually evolved knowledge, and out of love, all the different attributes and characteristics that we're aware of, they came, but love was first. And they always talk about love emanating from the heart of the beloved. And there was a mystic, 14th century, I believe, Richard Toll. I'll talk more about that tomorrow, but he talked about God as being the beloved. So if we believe that God orchestrates everything, then just understand that that force or that energy, that power brought the people that are in this room together for a specific reason in the name of love. Okay? So what I would like to do, also, I'd like to just introduce this now instead of waiting. If you're interested, and I'll bring it up again, and it'll be up here for anybody. When we put this program together, 12-step programs were already in existence. Last I went online, there were over 85 different 12-step programs. So from 1935 to 2005 or 2007, it all started from one program, Alcoholics Anonymous. We now have over 85 different programs. There's a program for sugar addicts. There's Emotions Anonymous. There's, the program for the family. There's so many different programs available. But interestingly, my thing was about 12 or 13 years ago that I would like to have a program where people on the spiritual path and people not on the spiritual path could come together and join under one umbrella. Because what we found out is that there's, if you look at the sheet, and if you go all the way up to step number 11, it says, sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God. So what I hear a lot, and I'm sure Lydia has heard it over the years a lot, people that are in the programs, when they get to step 11, they tend to know a little bit or a lot of it about prayer, but they don't know much about the meditation part, so they have questions. This is telling me to seek God through prayer and meditation, so how do I do that? What do I have to do, and how do I do that? Like, what's your name?
Carlton.
And like Carlton said, he's here for knowledge. I hope to be able to give you some answers into that, or give you some insights into that this evening as we go through this. But as we developed the program, I was blown away because I was thinking, the 12 steps for everyone. That whether your issue is alcohol or, was food, because we have food addicts, okay? And then I had never done I hadn't done alcohol or drugs, never got addicted to any of that, but I still found that I had some very hard to life issues going on within my life. For example, I had been meditating for about 8 years. And, I noticed that a lot of my behaviors weren't reflective of a person that had been on a spiritual path and had been meditating for 8 years. And I wasn't happy with myself in that arena. I would have people approach me and say, why would you do that? And you're on the spiritual path and you've been meditating for 8 years. So realizing and recognizing that, what I'm trying to share with you here is that they have programs such as Emotions Anonymous that are more in the behavior area of our lives, that have nothing to do with being addicted to a substance abuse. And what I like to address more is the area of behavior. Okay, how we behave as people, how we behave as human beings. Are we reflective of the Spirit? Are we reflective of God? Are we reflective of our spiritual teachers if we have one? Are we reflecting, goodness and love to our spouse? Are we reflecting this to our children? Are we reflecting this to one another? Do we do this? And are we consistent with it? And if not, why? Why can't we be if we're not? Some of us find this very difficult to be cut off on the highway out here and not have a reaction to that if someone cuts me off and gives me the finger. Why do I have to react to that at all? But we do. And so the book that I'm going to just share with you that was recommended to us, and you can get this book anywhere, it's called The 12 Steps for Everyone. And I just thought that was ironic because we were thinking 12 Steps for Everyone, and then there just happens to be a book called 12 Steps for Everyone. So if you're interested in following up more, that I would highly recommend, whether you ever go to a 12-step meeting or not, that you get this book. It's so rich with spirituality, and in fact, they tell you that the 12